I really did stream.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Total Confusion Podcast, Episode 7, our E3 discussions. Top left, we have Tea Drinking Turret.
Hiya!
In the middle, we have Lexi2 as Vert holding a Netgear body pillow.
Leave me alone, I'm asleep holding Netgear.
Okay. In the top right, we have AzureZero.
It's high noon.
Seriously.
Okay then.
Yep.
And of course, right on the bottom, we have myself. And I'm
Well,
never
you
going
should
to
be.
say that again.
Thank you for the line.
Omega Dragon LP. And as I said in that intro, it's the E3 discussions over the last 2 days of conferences. Starting with a rather bad EA conference that I decided to skip out on less than 10 minutes in.
You didn't miss much.
You didn't indeed.
Football.
Yeah.
From what I can...
American football.
From what I can gather, it was basically Madden,
Man
FIFA,
United.
FIFA, a bit of Mass Effect, a bit of Battlefield, Titanfall 2, which did look impressive, and Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, and an indie game called Fee.
Which actually looked good.
Yeah. Which they didn't do flipping show enough of in consideration.
And was pretty much the only gameplay footage shown throughout the entire conference.
Actually, yeah.
Unless you count in-game engine scenes.
No, we don't, because you could just render those on the PC.
Like the Star Wars Nazis.
Yeah.
Star Wars Nazis?
Yep.
Is that what we're really calling the First Order?
Yep.
Okay then.
Let's look at the signage.
Okay, so we can all agree that the EA conference, they had the best chance to create the world's best conference and have everybody else basically chase them, and they blew it.
Completely. They didn't. Well, their main issue is they had the opportunity to show gameplay of some of them, but they weren't showing it on the stream. They were showing it on a different channel entirely, from what I'm aware.
Yeah, they showed it on a separate thing that the restreamers that I were watching weren't allowed to show the extra hour of Battlefield 1 gameplay.
What streamers did you watch?
Total Biscuit Snark Fest.
You as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, Nerd Fusion didn't get the extra hour either, from what I've heard.
No, they weren't allowed to do it. Which I think is absolute bullshit, because if you want to build up hype, you've got to do is show them what's actually in the game and why they should buy it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Not just a video, as we saw. And not only that, not showing the same video twice in a flipping row.
Oh, think about it. No matter what they show, it's going to be false promises.
You see, yeah, it basically, their company is just publish unfinished shit.
Well,
And then hope that it gets better in the next 500 updates.
okay, yeah, I can agree with that. But the only bad Battlefield title they've had, other than the fact that Battlefield 4 started out shit, but it became great, Battlefield Hardline, that is the only bad Battlefield game. So,
yeah.
I have high hopes for Battlefield 1.
The problem I have with Battlefield 1 is who decided that they'd call it the same thing as the first one, just with a 1 stuck on the end of it, to confuse people. So
I
what are people
believe-
going to call the original Battlefield?
Well, they're going to call it Battlefield because that's what it's called.
Yes, but think about all the poor parents that think they're going to be buying their kid a steal in terms of how cheap the game is that the kid wants, only to find out it's the wrong fucking one.
That's true.
Yeah, better parents.
Also, the most recent iteration of a series is often the one called it without a number. Like, are you playing Battlefield at the minute?
True.
People would probably be on about 4, not Hardline, because no one plays Hardline.
Yeah.
Okay, so once I've got myself sit down properly, we're all in agreement EA's conference was crap.
Yep.
Yes.
Are we all in agreement that EA is crap?
Not entirely
Yeah.
crap, but yeah, I can agree with you. So after that, it was the Bethesda conference.
Which unfortunately, me and Azure didn't see any of.
Neither did I. I wasn't up at 3 o'clock in the morning for that.
Well, it
Well,
looks like it's over to you,
I
Omega.
was, but it didn't seem to be up.
pardon?
It didn't seem to be up. I was up at 3 a.m.
Well, it was there. It was available. I don't know if Total Biscuit covered it. I'm assuming that he did. Obviously, I watched the Nerd Fusion one because, yeah.
He's up to YouTube, but I haven't bothered watching it yet.
But Bethesda's conference started out with Quake.
Not bad. Not bad.
Quake being returned,
After that.
announced it's going to be called Quake Champions. It will run at 120 Hz with unlocked frame rates, which means pretty much they're aiming Quake at the PC crowd rather than the console crowd, as Quake has it's always been that first person shooter that goes straight to esports.
So was Doom.
Speaking of esports, the fact that we've actually got a sports team buying an esports team.
Oh, yeah.
We've got,
What was that about?
well, to be fair, Pornhub does own an esports team.
That's Pornhub.
Yeah, that's Pornhub.
Yeah. Oh, what was it? Manchester United tried to buy an Overwatch team or something, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Impressive. Do you reckon they'd have to wear the Manchester United kits?
I
Well,
certainly hope not.
If they're ever in arena play.
Oh, that's
After the Quake announcement, there was Elder Scrolls Legends.
I just realised the irony with the Overwatch team thing. Isn't the other team always the red one?
Yes. The enemy team is always the red team.
Yeah, that's true. So, Elder Scrolls Legends mobile virtual card game.
Oh dear.
Kind of looks like a cross between Hearthstone and Gwent.
I think TB reviewed that already. It's actually quite unique.
Yeah, but Elder Scrolls is meant to be, you know, large open world adventure. You don't even need to be on the main quest, not buy this booster pack.
Yeah, that lack of open worldiness was probably why they cancelled the PSP port of Oblivion.
Yeah.
I'll put it this way: if I don't feel like an absolute badass playing an Elder Scroll game, I'm not playing it.
Tamriel Online failed to deliver on that, but at least it had expansive open worlds.
Yeah, but to be fair, so did Fly FF,
Yeah.
and that was shit as all hell.
Never played it.
I did. That's cute. Until I realised I was murdering cat girls. And possessed
Ha
children.
ha ha.
Yabu sucks for you. You monster.
Okay. So, Elder Scrolls Legends card game, not really something we'd be interested in. Definitely not competitively. Oops, I forgot to turn my sounds off. Oh well, never mind. Fallout 4 will have contraptions, vault tech, elevator
And
tracks,
Nuka-Cola.
armor, Nuka-Cola world, conveyor belts, all being added to the workshop. Other than the Nuka-Cola, I believe that's going to be an expansion.
And that's coming July on
That's-
the Nuka-Cola one.
New Pit Boy.
New Pip-Boy?
Yeah, I saw them throwing it around earlier on Facebook.
Oh, okay then.
Pretty good. Better than the one they released last year.
So if you want
True.
to build your own vault, your own shitty little vault, we know what what happens in vaults by now.
And that
Then
would
that's up to
be
you, you
the
psychopath.
Vault Tech Workshop. That's the Vault Tech Workshop you're talking about. Which, I think, building your own vault, something people have actually wanted to do for ages. The closest they ever got was Fallout Shelter.
They've actually made, before this came out, they'd already made like 2 different make your own vault mods for free.
Well, console peasants have to get this kind of stuff somehow.
That's true. Next bit of news, though, was Fallout Shelter is being released on PC. How do we reckon that's going to work?
Microtransactions everywhere.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about your timed stuff. Are you going to need to leave the game on somewhere just so that you can keep clicking it every so often? Or is it going to be questing rather than timing?
They're probably just going to keep it the exact same, really, and just port it across, because that's the usual thing, isn't it, with mobile games?
Yeah. That
I
was
would
my
love to
guess
put
as
it-
well. They could put it on the Windows 10 app store and have it done that way.
I would love to put it past Bethesda to have a microtransaction-riddled game, but this is mobile,
Mm-hmm.
and it was likely subcontracted.
That is quite likely.
After the Fallout Shelter announcement was the one that I feared the most, mainly because I've been able to do this since I bought the game on PC in the first place. Skyrim Remaster.
Yeah, basically, as you said this to me before, and I think I completely agree with it. People have already made the game as HD as they flipping can, and they will continue to do so even better. So why would you, if you've got it on PC, buy it again?
Now
Why
that's
would you fork out more money?
that's the thing for PC. If you already own it, you get it free.
So it's just basically like an update, really.
That's my guess. That's how I think they're going to put it forward. Kind of like the way they did with Dirt 3 when they released games for Windows.
It needs to be optional, though.
But I thought that Skyrim already had a HD update.
It
The
has
free HD texture DLC.
it has the free HD texture DLC, which is basically the HD mod. What Skyrim Remaster would do is they are taking what looks to me to be the Fallout 4 engine for the graphics, and they're porting it over to the Skyrim side of things, which in itself will be great because it opens up the limitations on memory, which means that you can put even more mods into your game without breaking it.
You know what
Which
I
I
think-
did a lot of, I'll be honest.
You know what I think's great about it? It won't be in the Frostbite engine.
It's another thing that you think is great about it. Good luck finding me for the next few months when that happens.
It does need to be optional, otherwise people with low spec PCs will be stuck with it. And they
Well,
won't play.
if they put it through as an update, the people with low spec PCs are going to be annoyed. But I also think that they're more likely to put it through as a separate game. Like,
Republish it basically under this.
yeah, like the way that Dirt 3 did it when that got rid of the games for Windows Live. You had everybody that already had Dirt 3, you got Dirt 3 Collector's Edition free.
Or they could do what they did with what was it? An old game called Zombie Driver. Make everyone buy Zombie Driver HD at massively reduced, or in this case, free, and then eventually pull the original version from the Steam store.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I wish they'd done the same with Fable 3 for that, because not being able to play Fable 3 on PC purely because of games for Windows Live was annoying. But I don't see why Steam got rid of Fable 3.
Games of Windows Live, I basically made a free account and logged and did that through that every time. Just because I could not be asked with it any longer. I just scrolled down and made a free account.
Yeah. But I just want to say, before I forget and move on and people ridicule me for not mentioning it, Skyrim will only be free as long as you own all DLC.
So if you got the season pass, you're fine.
Yeah, basically, if you as long as you own all the DLC on your current copy, you'll get the new game for free.
Basically, wait for the Steam sale and get the season pass
Yeah.
rather than buying the full game.
Yeah. After that, we had Arcane Studios rebooting Prey. Who ever heard of Prey?
I'm vaguely aware of its existence, but I never played it.
The last news I heard was Prey 2 being cancelled. I don't know.
Well, that doesn't sit well, does it?
It just happened. Prey 2 got cancelled. This Prey apparently has nothing to do with the original Prey, which I don't
It's
agree
probably
with,
good
but
for it.
well, yeah, maybe.
If the original wasn't good enough to do his warranted sequel, maybe remaking it is probably a good way of going about this.
Possibly. Extra content to be added to the Doom Snap map, and there's new multiplayer modes with Unto the Evil being announced as well. So Doom's getting extra content.
That's good. I've got on my wish list.
That you'll probably enjoy Doom more than I will.
Oh yeah, blood, gore, kicking things off edges. My sort of game.
Next up was Elder Scrolls Online Dark Brotherhood DLC, which will probably have me wanting to buy it. However, one Tamriel, no leveling system. What's the freaking point of no leveling system in an MMO?
Yeah.
Isn't that half the reason people play it?
Yeah, to do is basically be presented a continuous challenge in a way.
To be given an arbitrary number to increase, be it DPS or level.
So they can do is, put down all the noobs.
Yep. After the one Tamriel announcement, which I do really have a problem with, Bethesda showed up with a VR announcement, Doom and Fallout 4 coming out in 2017 on the HTC Vive.
Well, I'm gonna start saving up now then.
How's that gonna work?
First person.
It's first person, it works.
Yeah.
But the Viv's the one that you move around the room, isn't it?
Yes, it's also the one where you got 2 controllers. So if you feel like so hopefully they're gonna bring dual wielding in somehow on the Fallout 4 one.
Well, they're gonna have to do that thing where they're gonna have to do pathfinding for it. Like you mark a circle where you want to go, and the character will move toward.
Possibly, maybe.
After that, you've got to be jogging on the spot a lot.
The only way we're going to know
It may
is...
as well be for the Oculus.
Well, unfortunately, Vive got their hands on it before Oculus did, so... Oh well.
I'm just saying that the Vive.
I can't wait to see the first gameplay videos.
Games, isn't it?
Yep. Either way, we can...
Hopefully someone runs into a random chameleon Deathclaw.
Haha. I can't wait for that to happen.
You should make a demo of it like that. Just spawn a Deathclaw at the end.
Well, if they're doing like the first mission involving the Minutemen, they're going to be dealing with a Deathclaw charging at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that being said, they're going to be in battle armor, so they're probably going to feel like they can handle this.
Yeah, except that armor is not all that strong at the start, and the Deathclaw frigging well is.
I killed it.
Okay, done.
Everyone flipping killed it, but only if they knew how to shoot the gun right, which they're on the HTC Vive, and they might not exactly do is configure it over from, like a mouse and controller straight over to the new controller they got.
Okay, yeah, I see your point there.
Plus there's the issue of what if somebody flipping drops the controller, you're screwed.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be funny. The only problem I've got with VR is
I can't afford it.
streaming capabilities now. People tend to have a face cam. Is it really going to be worth having a face cam on? Not only that, but if you're going to stream virtual reality, how are you going to know what your chat's doing? You're not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to engage with any people. It's like.
No, they need to do a Twitch overlay. Where it shows you on the live.
Well,
so
that's,
basically, you feel like you're wearing a little tactical visor whilst you're playing the game, with a little chat thing going down it.
Yeah.
that's the only way that Twitch chat would work on a virtual reality headset. Otherwise, you're going to be streaming and you're not even going to know whether you've got an audience, let alone...
I'm just imagining a situation where someone's about to go up against 10 Deathclaw, and then suddenly the chat blows up and they get bombarded with dicks.
Yeah, 10 Deathclaws show up and the chat just goes, "You're screwed, you're screwed, you're screwed, you're screwed, you're screwed, you're screwed."
The love of God, run, 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 run! Have you felt like using the pistol? Well, you're out of grenades. Use a combat knife on it. It'll work great.
Yeah. Moving on from the Vive for now. Dishonored 2 has an entirely new game engine that at the moment looks extremely unoptimized.
Oh, nothing new there then.
Frame rates were less. They weren't dismal, but they weren't great. No, it's the Void engine. It is not Frostbite. It's an entirely new game engine.
I'm gonna get slaughtered for this, but I did not like the first Dishonored.
I liked it, but I couldn't finish it. It was too repetitive. Same as Thief. I couldn't finish Thief. Thief was too repetitive either.
Honestly, it didn't feel that involving as a game. It kind of felt a bit boring and same old to me.
Okay, you play every Assassin's Creed game.
Yes, but that's because occasionally you just want to stab 50 guys in a row. You didn't get that option in Dishonored. You got like 6 in an area.
And you want to gush over the main protagonist.
No, I played as a girl. Actually, yeah, I did because she had a better ass.
And okay, so as far as Dishonored 2 is concerned, you get to play as either Emily or Corvo, which gives you replayability in a way, 2 different storylines. Emily is now 15 years older, so it's 15 years later.
She's now legal.
She's very legal. She's 25. There will be random... Pardon?
Technically, there was no age of consent back then.
That is true. That is true.
Technically, we don't know because it wasn't set in our reality.
That's true too. There is, using this new Void engine, they've been able to add random storms that, by the looks of it, can obscure not only your visibility but your enemies as well, which I think is a really good idea.
Good question though. Can you be a rat?
I don't know. They didn't show any of that sort of content.
Can be horrible to women, and that's pretty much the same thing.
It did show in the original trailer. In the original trailer, it showed that shadow, her turning into like a shadow creature and going through a hallway. In this one, it actually showed her using that shadow creature to kill someone, which I think was a brilliant way of showcasing Emily's powers in particular, because let's face it, you already know Corvo's.
Yeah.
And the game is due for release 11/11/16. Nice and simple. 11th of November. Is it? November, December? Yep. 11th of November.
It's Poppy Day over here.
So, exactly 5 years after the release of Elder Scrolls Skyrim comes Dishonored 2. Skyrim got 11/11/11. Which has always made me laugh because I'm convinced they had to pay quite a few developers for that privilege.
They're just like, come on, we gotta make the deadline, for God's sake, hurry the frick up. 2 days! You got 2 days!
And of course, Bethesda being Bethesda announced a Dishonored 2 Collector's Edition, which gives the option to actually own Corvo's mask. And from what I can tell, you can actually wear the mask. Whereas...
How does that work for people with different head sizes?
It's head-sized, basically, is what I'm saying. Unlike the Halo Collector's Edition that let you get the helmet, but the helmet was freaking tiny. So you couldn't wear it.
Not unless you were a toddler.
Pretty much.
Speaking of Skyrim and getting 11/11/11, I wonder what happened to that kid who got named Dovahkiin to try and win the Bethesda Lifetime Supply of Games Awards.
I get the feeling they'll have changed his name afterwards. There's no way they'll have kept that child's name as Dovahkiin.
Oh.
If they have, then more power to them, but I really don't think they will have done. That actually concluded the Bethesda conference. There wasn't any new IPs mentioned from Bethesda, which kind of sucked. Unless you count Prey, but like I say, that's a reboot. Moving on, it was the Xbox conference.
Oh, here we go.
Now, I got into that just as the Final Fantasy 15 portion of the conference was ending.
Oh, okay. I'll pick up the slack from here, since I joined at the start. First off, the stream ran like crap for anyone who was trying to restream it. The commentary channels were missing, and for the first half of the entire press conference there were hard-coded subtitles on the stream. So they screwed up the closed captioning as well. As for actual things that were announced during the stream, there is an Xbox One S being released, which is the slimline version of it, and they've decided to go with an Apple White motif.
So basically, they're doing what they did with the Xbox 360 just again, and just trying to re-release the console again.
Yep, pretty much.
No one ever makes new consoles. They just do is make them skinnier.
And then recall them because of dangerous batteries.
Nintendo DS, Nintendo 3DS, Nintendo 3DS XL, and the new Nintendo 3DS.
Well, from what I've heard,
2DS.
From what I've heard, the Xbox Slim or Xbox S, Xbox One S or Xbones, whatever you want to call it, from what I've heard, it doesn't actually have a power brick.
Yeah, it's got the brick built into it now, at the back. So it's just one of those cases like the pretty much any PlayStation console in memory where you just plug a power supply. No, not a power supply, a power cable into the back of it. No, not even something like that, Nat. Literally just a kettle lead or whatever.
My battery's running well.
Oh, okay.
The cable plugged without me knowing.
That's true. Hi to the chat, by the way. It's got people talking in it, which
Wow.
is
There's
useful.
people?
Well, this is Dream.
However,
I'm confused.
however, Nightbot gets straight in there and says, "Stop it."
Yeah, it is.
Nightbot, are you censoring everyone?
Nightbot is
I'm
Nightbot's
trying to
censoring
read them, and I'm having to do is click a button every time. It just really does not like the person who's appearing as an orange one.
It doesn't like either of them. Oh, that's unlucky. So,
Sorry, people in chat. I am actually looking at all your messages, but I have to click each one of them.
I would do that myself, but I can't be bothered.
Shall I continue listing off the things, or shall we wait for Nightbot? to
Where
stop
were we
having
up
this?
to? Xbox Slim.
Yeah. After that, there's a new Xbox controller, which is not new at all. It's literally the same controller, except now they put textured grip on the back of it,
So,
like the PS4.
wait. So, let me get this straight. They've released a new controller. It's got textured grips on the back.
Yes.
Are you about to tell me that you can customize this thing?
Yes, but that didn't come until later in the conference.
Microsoft being a dick to third-party developers just like always.
Well, third-party customization service, but yeah.
Now they've been doing it for years.
After that, we've got Gears of War 4 is previewed with surprisingly actual gameplay footage. By the way, gameplay doesn't run at 60 FPS like they claim. It ran like shit.
Well,
30 frames per
they
second.
were playing it on the Xbox, so I would assume that the
Yeah.
Xbox would stick to 30 frames rather than 60. The Windows 10 version will be at 60 because, of course, it will. But they didn't show off any of the Windows 10 gameplay, they only showed the Xbox One gameplay.
Apparently it will have crossplay with Windows 10, so I'll love to see how the multiplayer for that goes, considering...
Yeah, considering everybody on Windows 10 will be able to kick the ass of everybody on the console.
Anyone ever heard
they're
or
probably,
played Shadowrun?
They're probably going to up the difficulty cap for PC gamers, which they've done with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, anyone know of the old game Shadowrun for the 360 that used a similar thing?
Vaguely aware
Vaguely.
of it. I think I had it, and then I couldn't play past 2 hours.
Oh, the thing they did with it was they had crossplay with Windows Vista via games for Windows Live. They had to nerf the PC players several times just to make it even fairly viable.
Clever.
Well, you don't want to do is get told off for doing is using hacks when you're just playing it normally.
Can I read my chat? Okay, I'm being asked, can I read my chat at all? Yes, I can. You're just not saying anything that I need to comment on.
Nobody cares if you jizz on your controller. Nobody cares.
I care.
Nobody cares about what you care about.
Well, none of my games have controller support.
And I'm sure no one's going to be using Joy to key for them.
Haha.
Anyway, speaking of controllers, Gears 4 controller. It now has icons for the weapon selection on the D-pad. So you can tell what weapon you're pressing when you don't look at the controller, because who the fuck looks at the controller when they're playing games?
Grandparents.
Oh, Sonny Jim, what weapon am I choosing?
Where the frick's the X button? In my day, the X button was in the top left.
I would agree that I would agree with the people in chat that it is worth me paying attention to them, but when all I see is a load of spam, I'm not going to answer.
I'm curious. There's a question that actually deals with something I'm interested in. What's the opinion on the new Zelda?
We'll get around to that if we talk to it. We're nowhere near the Nintendo conference that none of us watched.
Fair point.
Right. General Ram confirmed for Killer Instinct, who is apparently someone from Gears of War. I don't know.
That makes
I don't really
sense.
care.
Oh, Nightbot never change. Sorry about that, but like I said, stop spamming and you won't get blocked.
The thing is, I'm reading the comments and they're not actually spamming. Nightbot's just being a dick.
Well,
Are people typing in all
there we go
caps?
then.
It's if you...
No, they're not.
If Nightbot's being a dick, then I might have to turn off Nightbot.
Right. Next up is some gameplay footage for Forza Horizon 3. It didn't look
Okay.
too bad. Kind of more of the same, really, but now they've decided to set it all in Australia, mate. Down to Australia. Also, more crossplay with Windows 10. Have you noticed a theme here?
They tried to really push Windows 10, whilst I'm every single flipping day mine turning on my computer, I'm just pressing the little X, telling it to F off.
Yep.
To be
I'm
fair,
wondering.
I'm using Windows 10 now. It's not brilliant, but if all these games are going to come out on Windows 10, I'm going to keep Windows 10. A lot of people like Nintendo. Okay, we've got people saying a lot of people like Nintendo. Again, we're nowhere near the Nintendo segment.
Leng Q6? What does that have to do with anything, Nat?
What was that?
I wondered why you were showing your headset to the camera.
Because somebody asked what headsets we use.
Oh, I'm not using a headset, I'm using a regular microphone.
And Skull Candy headphones.
I have no idea what I'm using. All I know is it's got a wolf on the side that's
Well,
wearing a crown.
I would use my
Well, I'm
other
not using my
headphones,
headset.
but I don't know where they are.
I'm only using the headset as headphones.
So we're all just using headsets as headphones from the looks of it.
The host is a bit of a
No.
knob, don't you think?
Well, yeah.
Oh,
Pardon, the host is a bit of a knob. Yeah, I ain't ever going to change.
Yeah, we all agree with you on this one. So don't think we don't.
He's a bit of a cunt.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, well. I don't plan on changing anytime soon.
there's finally been some footage for Recore released. That thing where the woman takes the core out of a dog and everyone's like, oh,
very much.
about it.
Apparently they like Azure.
They can like him.
They can have him.
Hey,
Stop ruining the illusion, T.
The illusion's already gone. I can see his jammers under the curtain.
Yeah, I can as well. Get back under there. You've got
I've already taken, as you can see.
you got proposals. Now the question is, are you going to accept theirs?
Well, how long till the Nintendo segment? We're currently on the Xbox segment, which is followed by a pretty crappy PC segment, which is then followed by Ubisoft, which is then followed by Sony, which is then followed by Nintendo, which I didn't watch. So we'll probably get around to talking to chat about that one.
Right. Let's see. Footage from Recore. It just looks like a platformer of some kind.
Okay.
Quite nice looking, but Then we
Okay.
come to Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
Looks like the Platinum demo for the PS4. Still looks like Dark Souls with QTEs, and the person
Pretty much.
playing it had two left hands.
Yeah. Also, I just want to point out, someone saying that I'm not professional in the chat. Fucking duh.
We wouldn't even be streaming today if we followed his professional rules.
Yeah. If I was doing professional, this stream would be on the Friday where it's supposed to be.
And none of this would be relevant.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
No one restreamed the Nintendo stream.
Yeah, because...
Yeah,
people
that
are
was true. No one-
copyright.
Nintendo was
Yeah.
too heavy.
Yeah. Someone has just said Money in the Bank predictions. Seth Rollins wins the championship. Dean Ambrose wins Money in the Bank, cashes in on Seth Rollins that night. There you go. That's my Money in the Bank prediction.
He has a job. I'm the one with the Patreon.
I have
simply
Game Wisp.
I keep getting cut off because I can hear myself.
I
And it's hard to keep time.
I have Game Wisp. I just don't advertise it very often. I let Nightbot do that, but unfortunately, Nightbot's being a dick at the same time.
Yeah, it is. It's flipping censoring everyone.
Oh no! Actually,
This.
wait. Is that Nightbot that censors them, or is it just?
Yeah, it is. It keeps doing is bringing up messages, telling people to do is like calm down on the caps and.
Well, yeah, they can calm down on the caps. You don't need to use caps lock.
Even when most of the comments aren't actually in flipping caps.
True, I guess. but it doesn't seem to be
I'm
blocking
going
them
down
now,
all of
so...
them, just going, show it, show it, show it, show it. I want to know what the people saying.
I don't know. Anyway, we were at Final Fantasy 15.
Not showing it's
And the person playing it being practically a penguin for the amount of dexterity they had.
Okay.
Division gets randomly generated missions in a DLC, also some content.
That is June 28th, I believe.
Can't say for certain, but... yeah, that sounds about right.
After that is where I managed to actually watch from most of it. Battlefield 1 releasing October 21st or October 13th if you have EA access.
Yeah, it's got a 2-day exclusivity on PC for EA access, so it's not too bad. Still used the same trailer from the EA conference that was boring as hell.
Unfortunately. House tour, no, because I don't plan on being in this house in a few weeks. Clubs on Xbox Live and looking for groups on Xbox Live.
Well, clubs is literally just communities from PS4. Although LFG sounds pretty good.
How dare you?
Someone has just realised that tea drinking turret is a girl. And
No, I agree with Big Poppers on this. I am clearly a grill.
Ark has asked if he can join the call and her, and I am going to say no for obvious reasons.
You can say tits all you want. I'm not leaning back.
Duckington says, "Holy fuck, a gamer girl."
Oh, what
Why
gave
is
it
that the
away?
Why is that the first thing that you decided to read in the chat?
Because they were telling me off for not reading. So I figured I'd start reading and just interrupt the podcast. You know, like I do.
Yeah, that's normal for you.
After the clubs and looking for groups, which none of us are going to use because none of us are using Xbox, there was Minecraft, the friendly
None
update.
of these bids are big enough.
Pardon?
None of these bids are big enough.
Huh? Bids? What bids?
That is true, Kate. And you're like a G-cup.
So,
Did you really have to say that?
question. What bid would be big enough? And since there's only one donate button.
Nah, we should get rid of Kate's PayPal.
But there's a... Oh, someone's saying 1,000 here. 1,000, 1,000. Do I hear two?
Plus, it's Drew's channel.
Next time I see you on Mega, you are fucked. And not in a nice way.
There's a bad way?
Going in
Master
dry
Sword
up the arse.
straight up your ass, mate, next time I see you.
Okay, so Minecraft friendly update,
I was looking at the sword, clearly.
which of course has cross-platform play, new texture packs, and that's about it. And
Oh yeah, and,
three people playing cross-platform that were obviously scripted.
Yeah.
And
Apparently they're also doing dedicated servers via Minecraft Worlds, which has been a thing
Minecraft
for
Realms,
ages.
yeah. Minecraft Realms, which has been around for about 2 years now. It's nothing new.
Lexi has it down, she's just shy.
Yes, I have an ugly face.
What was inside
Inside? Let me see.
I've got it on my notes here. It just says inside June 29th and let's
think
go with
inside-
Wars. Thanks for the follow.
I think
Helps
Inside was the
me
thing
out
that
more
I
than
did
them.
not have an interest in.
Yeah, I had a feeling that Hand of Fate 2 doesn't have a release date, but I'm ecstatic about. Hello, Big Papas. Thanks for the follow.
I call Lexi the posh one.
Lexi is the posh
The
one.
only southerner.
Lexi's the posh one.
Apparently.
Lexi is the posh one. So we've
Well,
got.
it's nice to know that I'm common for once.
So we have Hand of Fate 2, which I am personally looking forward to. Don't know about anyone else.
I can't play it.
I've never played the first one, so I wouldn't actually know.
Okay. And after that, there was We Happy Few, which I found really interesting. Duckington 2, thanks for the follow. It was good. Rather psychotic.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. The pinata that wasn't a pinata because reasons. That was creepy. Legit.
Because Joy Pill.
Yep. Downer, downer. Bash them to death.
Yeah, that's honestly, are they going to bring that sort of game out for the Oculus or the HTC? Do we reckon?
Both,
I'd hope so.
I expect.
Oh, let's hope, because that is just I honestly cannot wait to see some people play that.
Ark, thanks for the follow. Hand of Fate 2 looks great. The first one was perfect. Not saying what else is in that sentence.
Yeah.
That does look really swell, as a matter of fact. I can't wait myself. Agreed. Okay. On to the PC gaming conference.
I had a whole bunch of other things.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Carry on.
The new Platinum Games game Scalebound. The protagonist is so cringy in it that they may as well make the reboot Dante from Devil May Cry sound good in comparison. Ugh.
Cringier than Mugen Souls.
Yep, cringier than anything in that game.
What? That's possible?
Yeah.
Okay then.
Let's see. Dead Rising 4 is announced, and
Ooh.
it's going to come as Christmas time. Well, they said it was pretty much just coming out holiday season, so yeah, November, December time. Just a
Azure,
moment.
you know what to get me for Christmas?
A new game?
I was distracted with the chat.
You realise
Dead
there's
Rising.
you realise there's going to be a lot of games around Christmas time, right?
Yes, but I like to do is, think of the holiday as a time in which to bash the skulls in of zombies. You know,
Jingle bell,
the whole
jingle
Christ,
bell,
the whole
jingle
Christ
bell
bit,
rock.
the resurrection. Clearly, it's a metaphor for zombies.
Yeah, and
That's
hatching them in
Easter.
the bag, like cracking their brains open.
Yes, but it was the birth of the thing that became the zombie.
But you're talking about Easter, not Christmas.
Shh, Omega, it's
All
fine.
related. It's all the same person.
How do you know? You weren't there.
I'm still.
No.
Neither were you.
Yes, I was. He's there. He's right there, up in the top right corner. Just not dead yet.
At the top there.
No, you're the top right.
Left.
At least you're on the top somewhere.
God fucking damn it.
Let's see. Street Fighter Cross Tekken 2, and it turns out no, that's not what it is. It's actually Tekken 7. So Tekken 7 is coming
Sweet.
soon. And apparently it has Akuma from Street Fighter in it.
Yeah, that's basic. That's basically the consolation prize. I'm sorry we can't do this game anymore, but you can use this character.
Question: if it's Street Fighter, what are the odds of Chun-Li's
You've got a
thighs being
question?
awesome?
It's not Street
Or they're
Fighter.
just
It's
gonna get
Tekken
even
7.
worse?
It's not anymore. It's just Tekken 7.
Just Tekken 7. Oh.
Yeah,
And Chun-Li's thighs?
the
Seriously?
the original idea fell through. Basically, the new character for the character they've got in Tekken 7 is the consolation prize for not doing that game anymore.
DayZ is coming to the X-Bone, probably still in just as unfinished a state as ever.
Who the fuck cares about DayZ anymore?
Fair point.
A fair point, yeah.
Anyway, to go back to Azure, Omega, you have a question.
Do I?
Yes.
I don't see one.
The question is asking about the flavors of your vape.
Oh, I believe it's Fruit Loops
Not bad.
with milk, which is rather weird. And fuck you, Skype.
Sorry, Big Poppers. It says file size too small.
Password ain't big enough.
No, he doesn't. He has a Jefferson beard.
Not right now. I don't. I need to trim it.
What's wrong with my beard?
Jefferson's beard is a bit more refined. Not only that, but I need the haircut too. It's a bit too long for Jefferson.
Don't be mean, Big Poppers. That would imply he has any skill.
Yeah, you got a point there.
I can't do it when I try. I can do it when I,
Let's be honest, you trying to do his make smoke rings probably just going to look like you're trying to do is give a blowjob to a ghost.
Which is also true. But then that's what most people look like when they make smoke rings anyway, so. Anyway, is there any...
title this
No.
Total Confusion Podcast Episode 7, Torn Drew.
No.
Well, isn't that what the last one was as well?
Yeah, you
Actually,
weren't
no,
here. You haven't noticed that I actually...
the cheers.
You hadn't noticed that I'd actually posted an episode 6, had you?
I did.
No one was
did.
there for it. No one was there for it, so I did it as my college project instead.
Well, it's not our fault that you didn't do his post to the chats and do his confirm everybody was there.
I couldn't... We never had a topic. Every time I asked if we were doing one, everyone was just like, we've got nothing to talk about.
Fair enough.
Only other thing that I can see that we'd be vaguely interested in is Xbox have announced Project Scorpio, the parallel for the quote-unquote PS4 Neo, which I believe you know the proper name for, possibly, since you've seen the Sony conference. Also, Xbox has the best pixels, you guys!
Supposedly.
Xbox
We
has
do,
the best pixels. Legitimate quote.
do we believe Xbox on that? What did they call... You know what? I don't think I added the name of PlayStation's VR system into my notes.
It's nice to know that Drew's note-taking is excellent.
Freaking bullshit.
Everyone take note of his note taking.
Anyway, anything more from Xbox?
No, let's come on.
Sea of
Been long enough.
Thieves is pretty much Guns of Icarus Pirate Edition, and it's done by a bunch of cringy YouTubers. And there's a State of Decay 2 in development, if anyone's interested in that.
Oh yeah, I did notice State of Decay 2. Why didn't I write that down? Meh.
I don't know.
Too drunk.
You know what? That's actually possible because I did go to the pub.
That explains so much, but yet so little. Halo Wars 2 came out. And did anyone even play Halo Wars 1?
Nope.
So, Miss Go says, I'm going to bully all your followers right now and you can't stop me. I can't. Nightbot might. Nightbot might stop you. I won't, because that's what chat's there for, in my opinion.
Taking the piss out of everybody else there.
Exactly.
Mhm.
It's also kind of why I don't pay attention to chat so much.
Gwent from Witcher 3 is being released as a standalone game. And it seems like no one is interested.
Oh, are we in the
Other
PC
than
gaming
that-
conference now?
No, I'm still talking about stuff that's on Xbone, because I
Oh.
didn't watch PC. Outlast 2 is in development.
Yeah. You are so gonna play that Omega.
Yeah,
You are so
well,
gonna play it.
I do believe you still have a game to finish.
You mean Evil Within? You mean the one that I am going to do is be recording back to back from Thursday until Sunday?
Oh, you've been saying that for quite a while. I'll believe it when I see it.
The only other thing I have written down is Stardew Valley is coming to Xbone as well.
Which everybody knew was going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
I'm still not going to buy it. Couldn't get into it when I was watching it. I will have no chance of getting into it when I am... Never mind. You know what I'm trying to say. What's the chat doing? Okay, apparently Crimson is 12.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Yeah,
wondering
well,
how he's a
yeah.
mod. Everyone's wondering how he's a mod even though he's in the podcast. I'm fair certain Lex is a mod.
I am now, apparently.
I am as well, aren't I?
Yes. In fact, I think the only member of our group not to be, like, the actual group that gets together regularly, even though he doesn't show up for almost everything, Saga.
Yeah.
I don't believe Saga is a mod,
Yep.
but then that's his own fault.
He never shows up.
Is Saga the weeb? Why are you asking that?
I'm confused by Eric's question. I'm actually quite amused by all that. We're all weebs hickeys.
Okay.
Except Drew,
Hey, what?
who's too stupid.
What? Just because I'm slow at reading doesn't mean I'm stupid. Although now chat knows exactly why I don't pay attention to it.
It's hyperdimension Neptunia.
Yeah. Don't care.
I don't get
is.
that. I doesn't seem to realise that it already said that I make hentai games.
You hadn't said that this podcast.
I said it in the chat.
Yeah, but that was in the chat. You hadn't said it in the podcast. We got an hour into the podcast and you've only just mentioned it. I'm impressed. Anyway, moving on. PC gaming. Only thing I felt noteworthy was Oxygen not included, and all you got was a 10-second trailer. So, screw Oxygen not included, I guess. We're going to mention it, but we're not going to tell you anything about it. So yeah, I didn't really pay attention to PC gaming.
We don't ban anyone.
Hey, what? Why are we saying we don't ban anyone? What happened?
Someone's calling for someone to be banned.
Is there a legitimate reason why this person should be banned?
That I can see.
Then no, they will not be banned. Ubisoft conference. Moving on to Ubisoft. Opened with a rather messed up dance show with a lion, a giraffe,
And a giraffe.
a clown, Lord knows what else. I'll admit, an entertaining. It was really entertaining for me personally. Now, after that, I don't know if Xbox acknowledged this, but I know that the PC gaming conference didn't. Ubisoft were, as far as I know, the first conference to mention the attack on Pulse, the Orlando nightclub.
Nightclub.
It was yeah, which struck me as odd that we got through almost the entire day's worth of conferences and only Ubisoft had mentioned it up to that point. But following straight on after that was Just Dance 2017. On all
that none of us here actually give a shit about.
Yes, but Nintendo never had a release date for the NX. Aisha Tyler may be in a little bit of trouble because she mentioned all platforms, including Nintendo NX, which means the NX has to come out next year.
Question is, what do we actually know about the NX yet?
Not a fucking lot other than it's going to have a Zelda game on it.
But every Nintendo console has a Zelda game on it. That's not news.
T and Azure are boyfriend-girlfriend. So, unlucky Duckington. Misgo... Blah blah. I don't... PC gaming show, maybe AMD show, which, yeah, I actually agree with that.
Mark 47 about Guitar Hero, it was good, but then they brought out Guitar Hero Live and completely ruined the controller.
Agreed. From what I could tell, Aisha Tyler, as much as I don't like the way she comes across during these conferences, she was not pulling punches this year. There was an F-bomb in the first 5 minutes of that conference.
Yeah, but the real question for the American audience is did she use the word damn?
I don't know. She definitely used the word fuck.
Okay.
She definitely used the word fuck. And it was definitely before 10 p.m. Oh, those little kiddies watching that Twitch stream. Their mothers must be furious.
Well, their mothers are probably too busy sucking cock because they're not actually watching what their kids are watching.
Nightbot has blocked as time. No. Stop spamming caps. Stop spamming caps. Stop
Nightbot seems
spamming
to
the
have a thing
emotes.
against emotes.
Yeah, if I can't have them, no one can. I'm joking there, it just does it. I don't know why. I'll probably turn Nightbot off one day. Might move over to Cobalt.
Okay.
Cobalt seems a bit more stable. Ubisoft, 30 years old. That struck me as a little odd. I didn't expect that. And after that was Ghost Recon Wildlands with up to 4-player co-op.
Sounds like it could be good, but some of the Ghost Recon games have been a bit iffy. So I'll have to look it up sometime after E3 to see if it's something I'd want to play.
Yeah, I agree with that. After that, though, we had a very interesting trailer that you would not have thought when watching it was associated with South Park in any way whatsoever. But it transitioned into Cartman dressed up as the Coon. South Park, The Fractured Butthole. I cannot wait for that game to be released. I know I haven't played, I know I haven't finished The Stick of Truth yet, but I can't wait for The Fractured Butthole because it just looks 10 times better than The Stick of Truth ever could try to be.
I'm interested as to how they're going to innovate it after The Stick of Truth, if at all. Because it was an alright RPG.
Yeah, they're changing the combat system for as much as I can tell.
That could be good then.
And I'm going to guess that the storyline is going to be a heck of a lot better because it's basically superheroes rather than fantasy. It's going to be more. It's going to be more South Parky rather than Final Fantasy.
I'm interested to see how much Ubisoft decide to censor the game on consoles this time.
Hopefully not at all.
To be fair,
Yeah.
it wasn't actually Ubisoft that censored the game. It was the console manufacturers themselves.
No, I'm pretty sure it was the publisher because it wasn't censored on PC, despite getting the same ESRB and
It was
age rating.
It was still censored on PC for people in Australia, which is why the console version got censored in the first place.
What games over here got censored?
Stick of Truth on consoles in
Stick of
Europe.
Truth, it only got censored on console though.
Did Bully get censored over here?
No, to my
No.
knowledge, it only got renamed.
Ah,
So Canis Candom edit.
Canis Canem Edit Bully, basically.
Is that
Yeah.
just Dog Eat Dog?
Yeah, that's literally what it is. And for some reason, they decided to title the remaster the proper name, Bully Scholarship Edition, anyway. So what was the fucking point?
Yeah. For the Fractured Butthole, though, the big announcement was if you pre-purchase it, you get the Stick of Truth for free.
Whoa.
Odds are you already have it. And release for that is December 6th, so yeah, if you don't see me around Christmas, you know what I'm playing. After that was another The Division announcement, which we'd already seen in the Xbox conference anyway. Omega, you don't have a girlfriend because you're you can't afford to pay your own rent. You know what the good thing is? I don't pay rent! I live rent free because reasons. Because I'm a smart guy and I don't actually have to pay my parents to live where I've lived for the past 25 freaking years. One thing I've never agreed with is paying rent to parents.
And then there's me who's doing his pains.
I just don't.
Just to live in the house that I grew up in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't agree with it. Why should I have to start paying rent to live in a house that I've been living in for the past God knows how many years? Pointless. Especially when the money don't even go on the house. It goes on freaking them going out for the night. Anyway, after The Division, we go back to virtual reality with Eagle Flight, which was fairly decent. It looks really fun, kind of like a dog fighting virtual reality game. You play as eagles. You have to. It showed a capture the flag style game. You pick up the flag, take it back to the nest. Whoever gets it to the nest first scores the point.
Sounds like it could be interesting, but doesn't seem like a concept that would get put through well with just words.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, Crimson, can you, not tell people what I plan on doing in the future, please?
Maybe don't tell people that me and Kate are dating.
What? You'd rather they think you were brother and sister?
Yeah. It wasn't their business.
It wasn't their business that you were brother and sister either.
I do not want to be considered to be incestuous with you, mate.
I know, but...
Look, if I'm going to be incestuous with somebody, at least they've got to be a little bit hotter.
Ooh. Anyway, Star Trek Bridge Crew was the next VR game announced, and the way they showed it, getting in actual Star Trek stars, was rather impressive. Again, a game that would only work on VR. It didn't look like you could really port it over to a PC easily. Not really much after that. What was after that? For Honor has a release date, February 14th, 2017. Which nobody expected a release date. I'm fair certain nobody expected a release date. Grow Home gets a sequel for Grow Up, which is available in August on Xbox One, PS4 and PC. Again, that was expected. Trials of the Blood Dragon.
I'm just left wondering if that's a sequel to that Far Cry Expandalone.
It's the dragon.
It's the same concept, technically. It's basically a Trials game set in the Blood Dragon universe.
Okay.
And that one was released as soon as the trailer ended.
Huh.
So there's your E3, we're releasing this now. announcement. Next up, they talked about the Assassin's Creed movie, which we have already talked about.
Yeah. Basically, we're hoping it's a little bit better than the Prince of Persia movie, but we're not holding our hopes.
Yeah,
Very
definitely
high
not.
for it.
However, we might not be holding our hopes, but Ubisoft is. Because straight after they talked about the Assassin's Creed movie, they announced Watch Dogs 2, which I didn't catch the release date for, and a Watch Dogs film.
GOG just sent me an email asking if I want to register for the Gwent beta.
No.
Okay, Watch Dogs 2, 15th of November.
Okay, so Watch Dogs 2 is 15th of November. Why? Why does Watch Dogs need a film? It was a flop of a game.
Would this be one of the few titles where it would be a decent reason to put Electric Boogaloo at the end of the thing?
Possibly, yes.
If it's a silver count.
And Ubisoft did, however, mention that PlayStation gets exclusive timed content for Watch Dogs 2.
Just what we always wanted.
And anybody that pre-orders gets a little mini robot.
Hooray!
And Ubisoft, as always, as they do every year, ended their conference with a new IP called Steep. It's set in the Alps. It's sports. Shared with friends.
Is it snowboarding? Or skate? Yeah, snowboarding.
Snowboarding, skiing, skydiving, gliding.
So it's basically SSX, but with more options.
It's basically SSX, but without the competition.
Ah,
It would.
I had such high hopes.
The only problem I have with it is the fact that it's a set location. If it was procedurally generated mountains, it would make a whole lot more sense. You'd be able to get a whole lot more content out of it. But this
So
is just basic.
Is it basically like the game they brought out on the Wii Fit to do is basically promote that stupid contraption that nobody ever used more than as a desk?
Pretty much. It was shit, in my opinion. Okay, back to the chat before moving on to the Sony conference. British friendship. You hate someone, you're polite. You insult them, then you're your best mate. Yeah. I'll drop kick you into a small door if you smell what the rock is cooking. Watch Dogs November 2018. No, it's not. November 2016. Either that or I'm not able to read the chat properly. Dude, we're British. We get the British banter. Thank fuck for that.
Why did you ask why they were bullying you?
Huh? Who asked why? Who was bullying?
I can't remember anymore.
I think it's probably me they're referring to.
We are Ubisoft, not Ubisoft. They're French, it's pronounced Ubi. What it is, it's a French production company. It's pronounced Ubisoft, not Ubisoft. T was bullying her boyfriend. Yeah, that was true. Read quicker. Can't really read quicker when you want to know how small the writing is that's on my screen? It's like 3 millimeters. I have a tiny
Get some
screen.
control and scroll wheel action. Make it zoom in.
But I don't want to. If I do that, I'll lose the video feed. Shut up, Omega, you hit your mum. If only they knew how much I hate my mother. Which now they do! No, I can't lie like that. I don't hate her.
Spies?
Loathe?
I'm not getting into it.
Tolerate?
Shush.
So long as love isn't included in that. Bronies.
Adore?
I wish I could vouch for his penis, but I've never seen it.
Make the font larger. I don't
Thank you, someone said
always,
something.
I don't always ignore you, I just don't read fast. And
He doesn't watch subtitled stuff for the same reason.
yeah, I can't read quick. I skipped a lot of school, especially in primary. And in primary, it wasn't very easy to skip school.
Anyway, back to the podcast.
And someone just got timed out for all of 5 seconds.
And got all their messages deleted.
I
Unlucky.
always thought it was Ubisoft.
Anyway, back to the podcast. Sony's conference. A
Finally,
live
something I'm interested in.
started with a live orchestra. How much better can you get than that?
2 live orchestras.
Only 2?
Smart ass.
I expect at least 6. I expect an orchestra on every side of you.
Anyway, listening to that orchestra for the first 4 or 5 minutes of this conference was amazing. The amount of people that were speculating, what's this leading into? Is it going to be good? Is it going to be great? God of War.
Oh god, yes.
Did they play Fuck Konami?
No, they didn't, but they did their own little version of Fuck Konami.
Really?
We'll get to it.
Awesome.
So, God of War, I've got to say, it looks a lot more like a reboot than a continuation.
See, I watched it after E3, unlike Drew, so I saw it and thought it would be a prequel of a prequel, since there was... Which was the one that had Kratos' son in it for the PSP? I can't remember if it was Chains of Olympus or Ghost of Sparta.
I believe that was Ghost of Sparta.
That one, it had his son getting kidnapped by the Spartan army, if I remember right, or something. And I'm left thinking that it's his son that he's training up again, but it turns out that that might not be the case. Either way, it'd be interesting to see how it turns out.
Uh-huh.
The question is, do we get to stab giant limbs here?
We get to stab giant limbs. Oh,
It's all good then.
and my personal favourite part, there is dragons.
Motherfucking dragons.
Motherfucking dragons! In a God of War game.
you say something like it being Norse mythology or something though?
Yeah,
Are we
well,
gonna get fucked over by Loki all the time?
it's possible.
It's likely. Yeah, he'll be too busy fucking a horse, to be fair.
Yeah, but for all we know, he could be the horse that we have to kill. In order to fuck a horse, you have to be a horse. Well, I say that.
Only thing I'm worried about so far is the XP thing that keeps coming up.
XP? Oh, you mean when he was teaching the kid how to use the bow?
Yeah, like, what was with all this archery up 50 and pathfinding up 20?
That's what makes me think that you will play as the son at some point during this particular series, because it makes no sense that Kratos, the Master Hunter, would still be learning how to hunt. You know, it's like, surely you just put a quick tutorial in and bang, you're done. Okay, nothing worth talking about from the chat. New
Turned into scene kids with all their raw XD.
Apparently, it's one way of doing emotes that won't get you banned. New IP, Days Gone. Basically, all they showed of this at first was the trailer. So, as PlayStation did with it, we're going to roll around to that and talk about it later. The Last Guardian. Nobody expected a release date.
We actually got one.
We can.
the new one from the ICO people?
Yes. We can.
Sweet! Can't wait for that.
We can pretty much agree. Nobody expected a release date for The Last Guardian, but we got one. October 25th this year.
Ooh.
Nice.
Unless, of course, you know, later on down this year they turn around and say, "There's too many games coming out in October. We're gonna push it back."
So Christmas sales.
No, please no. I actually want something to play my PS4 for.
God's sake, I need something. I need a decent game coming out soon. There's only so long my Let's Play channel can do is survive on the games I have, all 200 of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying now. I can't decide what to play.
You'll have to start playing Honey Pop again, T. Or maybe Honeycam
I finished
Studio.
it.
So glad I don't have that. Oh.
I've just done the end episode for Honey Pop. I've done the end episode with all the sexy moaning and all that shit. I'm not going back to that game.
October, more like Rocktober. Someone likes rocks a lot. Yeah, I did notice that. Anyway, after The Last Guardian's shocking release date, Horizon Zero Dawn. They showed more content for that game that quite a lot of people had forgot was even a thing. There's now focus scan, a crafting menu. You can mount the machines, and there's mounted combat, which all in all makes me want to say, Horizon Zero Dawn, get in my house somehow, preferably with a PS4. Crimson, you whiskey alcoholic bastard. Yeah. Do you like the Yogscast? Not a huge fan, but I still watch occasionally.
Honestly, never watched them.
Same. I haven't watched them either. Or listened to them, whichever it is they do. I don't know.
My bot is fine.
What isn't?
Nightbot is working perfectly. For once.
Drew confirmed for From Software after Dark Souls 3.
Wait, what?
Voice is working perfectly. You can get slapped about by
Right.
unarmed enemies and get staggered.
It's not a glitch, it's a feature.
Pretty much.
Anyway. Is it David Cage? Produces Detroit Become Human. I'm really not. It looked good, but I don't think. You know what? You know what? You're annoying me. There we go.
Shall we move on to the usual podcast stuff?
Have we even got anywhere near Nintendo yet?
We're close. Ish.
I can see T salivating to hear about the latest Nintendo news that none of us watched.
PlayStation Virtual Reality started off with an amazing trailer that led into Resident Evil 7.
Oh, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Which
Bring back
apparently...
the zombie tank.
They're going back to their roots. They're going all the way back to horror. No more of this bullshit that we've had through 4, 5, and 6. Because yes, I do agree with most of the community that 4, 5, and 6 are what ruined Resident Evil.
4 was still plenty scary.
Eh,
No, it wasn't.
no, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. Until
No,
you
it
learned how to
wasn't.
game it.
What? Kick over, slice in head, repeat.
Can we just agree that horror games just need to go back to when you didn't have a flipping weapon?
No, Big Poppers, you're not seeing my face. It's ugly.
Eternal Darkness needs to come back.
See? Nightbot is working properly. It gave you plenty of chances before timing you out for 600 seconds. Now behave yourselves. Really pushing VR here. October 13th is the release date for PlayStation VR. And there will be 50 games from October 13th through December 31st.
Well, that doesn't sound too bad. In before half of them are re-releases.
Yep. PlayStation VR exclusives include Farpoint, which is a new IP, Star Wars Battlefront X-Wing Mission, and Batman Arkham VR.
The question is, Star Wars Battlefront, does that mean they're finally actually letting you do a space battle in a game about space?
Yeah, unfortunately it's a VR space battle. Which in itself won't be a bad thing, it's just that you're going to need the VR headset as well as a PlayStation 4. Or a PlayStation Neo, depending on whether it's the VR that's called the Neo or the 4 that's called the Neo. Final Fantasy 15 will have a VR experience where you play as Prompto.
Right.
I'm
Well,
guessing
there's another game I'm not playing.
I'm guessing it will be optional. I can't see them having it as part of the game because you can't really do Final Fantasy 15 in VR. You can't do Final Fantasy in VR, in my opinion.
Yeah. How are you going to
Um,
see all your female characters that all have Yuna's face?
What down?
Except for the fact that Final Fantasy 15, so far as I've seen, has no female characters.
It has one
Well-
female. That's not strictly true. The trailer did show one female character. The girl that was putting on the headset in the first place. Putting the headset on you. Leaning over. With a lot of skin showing.
How we fanfics?
How do you know it's a Final Fantasy game? There's freaking tits in the trailer.
They also kill God at the end.
They killed something.
It's not Final Fantasy if you don't kill God at the end.
Well, we'll find that out when we play it. Next up was the trailer for Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. And if, like me, you were going into that trailer thinking, holy shit, this looks awesome, what the fuck is it? You may have just been turned around on what Call of Duty is and just gone, I don't give a shit about all the past Call of Duty games. I fucking want this one.
You're going to say that until you find out just how many people have been fucking your mother.
I'm just going off the storyline gameplay.
Well, we already know the guy in chat's done it 200 times.
Yeah, apparently. Although he kind of got himself timed out.
That's true, but I'm still kind of amazed at his stomach.
Lexi face reveal, no.
As I said, no one wants to see my face. It is ugly.
Sniffing glue. You may as
To
well
be fair,
Google me.
they don't want to see my face either, but they're just having to deal with it.
No, they don't want to see your face. They want to see something that's roughly a foot underneath it.
Nice buffering stream. Well, it isn't buffering for me, so I'm guessing your internet's crap. After the Call of Duty was Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3 remastered
Why?
for PS4.
So is it basically going to be like Rare Replay?
I'm actually kind of hoping that it's their way of saying we're bringing back Crash Bandicoot. We're just going to let you play through the original 3 first.
I'm just wondering to myself, why?
Yeah, me too. After that was Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens,
Woo.
which is released in
Yay.
2 weeks.
I can just see the shelves of game lining up with like 20 copies of people who tried it for like an hour.
That's all they'll need to complete it. Lego games are easy.
Apparently the sound is gone.
No, it hasn't.
Let me check.
No, it hasn't. You see, the amazing thing with like XSplit and pretty much any streaming software these days, it tells you if you've got sound.
I'm refreshing the stream and entirely losing the chat.
Well, yeah.
The stream has no sound.
The stream has no sound.
Mm-hmm.
I'll unmute. Yep, no sound. Weird. We can blame Drew's mother for this somehow.
Why does it matter if we blame Drew's mother for this? They can't hear what we're saying.
Yep.
That's why it's fun.
How about now?
You realise we need to talk for a sustained amount of time. I mean,
Yeah, but who's going to want to listen to us for a sustained amount of time?
I haven't got a clue. I wouldn't want to listen to myself for a sustained amount of time.
Same.
What the hell's happened to Twitch?
Yeah, that is... Yeah.
I wonder if we're not getting,
Because XSplit says that the sound's fine.
I wonder if we're not getting put... Oh, there we go. Now we're getting some sound.
What is
Or
it?
not. Honestly, I'm not even sure what's going on at this point.
nice one, Lexi.
Well, it's true.
I heard Lexi's voice on the thing.
Yeah, so did I. At which point I decided refresh. Like, literally
Fair enough.
turned the stream off and started it again. There we go, we should be back up.
Yep, seems so.
Okay. So, where was I up to? Crash Bandicoot, weren't I? No, Lego Star Wars. After the Lego Star Wars announcement, Hideo Kojima returns. Back with an entirely new IP called Death Stranding, which me and quite a few other people seem to think is basically Hideo Kojima's way of turning around to Konami and saying, fuck you, I'm doing this shit anyway.
Which I think is bloody fair enough.
Yep.
It's not quite Silent Hills, but it works.
But it's something.
Hasn't Resident Evil 7 essentially become PT?
That's what people are saying. They're saying that Resident Evil 7 took the PT moniker. Purely because nobody else was going to be using it anyway.
I suppose.
But after that, after Kojima returned with one heck of an announcement, trailer and new IP, Insomniac Games, Marvel, Spider-Man, PS4 exclusive.
I'm trying to remember what Insomniac are responsible for. Is it Ratchet and Clank?
Insomniac
Spyro.
Insomniac are responsible for Spyro. Insomniac are responsible for good games.
Who did Beyond Good and Evil?
Some company that decided to release a trailer for a second one and then never did it.
Yeah.
I think it was Ubisoft.
Yep.
Not Ubisoft, just the publisher, though.
Not always.
No, they developed it. One of their subsidiaries, also called Ubisoft, did it. Let me give that some Control-Shift-T action. Beyond Good and Evil, developed by Ubisoft Montpellier and Ubisoft Milan, or Milan, I don't know.
Montpellier being where that steep is supposed to be set.
Honestly, it's hard to think of it as, an Ubisoft game, because it's good.
That was back in the days when they actually cared.
Some of their games are good, they're just not great. Can mods swear? No. You know what? I'm going to have to turn that setting off.
What setting?
The swearing setting. Because I don't even remember turning it on.
It's on by default.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay
it
then.
just censor us for each other.
Now, after Spider-Man, it came up with a live demo for Days Gone. So, like I said, I was going to get back to that. The graphics look very similar to Last of Us. And a lot of people were thinking, is this going to be in the Last of Us universe? The answer is no. It's a zombie survival. But the zombies are fucking smart.
So they're not just mushroom heads.
They're not just mushroom heads. And they're not slow. They're very quick. They can climb. They can pathfind. Doesn't matter where you go, if you've got a horde of zombies after you, run. Because you ain't gonna be able to shoot them all down.
Yes, but can they swim?
I don't know if that was showed.
Can you swim?
I don't know if that was showed.
I long for the days when 28 days later didn't ruin zombies and they still walked at walking speed.
So you're more of a fan of Romero?
Yes.
Are they
Sheer
subject?
numbers.
Are they subject to cold weather doing is slowing down their muscles?
Okay, I know which film you're talking about, I just don't know what it's called.
Will they actually start to dissolve themselves after 2 weeks of gameplay?
Probably not. I don't know. I hope not, anyway. But that was the end of the Sony conference, which means I've run out of things to talk about.
Chat, tell us about the Nintendo conference. None of us have watched it.
Mainly because I couldn't be bothered trying to find it.
All I know is that there's been a release date announced for Pokemon Sun and Moon, because Pokemon is practically my waifu game. And guess what they've done? They've decided to do fucking segregated release dates like they did with all the other games up until X and Y.
Segregated release dates?
Yeah,
what, like one will come out before the other?
Later.
Oh, you mean
staggered release.
Australia will get it before we do? Because
Similar thing, but no,
fuck
it's
the
usual
UK.
way of America gets it first, then... Wait, no. I don't even know when Japan are getting it, but America gets it like 5 days before the rest of us, so I'll have to stay off the internet for 5 days to avoid spoilers.
I
Not
don't
that there's
think
gonna
I'm.
be spoilers.
I don't think I will have a 3DS, or should I say a new 3DS that's got capture capability on it. So personally, I won't be bothered if I watch people playing it. I wouldn't mind to know if there was anything about A Legend of Zelda on the Wii U. But
Yeah, the new Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
oh, it's got a title then,
Yeah, it's got a title now.
at least.
Yay.
But the question is it going to be Wii U or is it going to be
The NX.
the NX, which most people think it will not be the Wii U, especially
I'm
with
kinda
how
hoping
close
it-
the NX is due to release.
I'm kind of hoping it won't be the Wii U because, to be honest, I think there's probably a reason why the Wii U didn't do that well.
Yeah, it didn't have its own standalone Zelda game.
No, I mean, we got the re-release of Twilight Princess coming out this year for it, but
Yeah.
that's just a re-release.
See, the thing is, they could do with this new game what they did with Twilight Princess the first time and release it
Release it on both.
on both consoles. Like, release it as a launch title for when the NX comes out.
You know, with all the enhanced features of the new console.
Yeah. But the question is then, how would it play? Because I do honestly think that Twilight Princess was easier on the GameCube.
Honestly, I wouldn't know because I played the Wii version myself. But to be fair, when I played it, it was the original Wiimote, so the controls were still pretty damn jarring.
I can't talk here because I only had an N64 and I didn't have a Zelda game for it. I only had Pokemon Stadium, GoldenEye, and Mario 64, and Perfect Dark.
So you missed out on Majora's Mask.
I didn't have that.
Exactly.
Or Ocarina.
Ocarina less. Majora's Mask is definitely a bit more of a everybody sort of game.
I thought Ocarina was the one that nailed the formula. Whereas Ocarina's a bit different.
Ocarina was the first fully 3D Zelda game, which brought in the targeting system for other games.
The Z thing.
Yeah, the Z targeting. But Majora's Mask was more a game that anybody could really actually get into with all of his little well, it was considerably more replayable.
Yeah.
Funny. They spent ages complaining about us not getting to Nintendo, and now we've got half the viewers.
Yeah. But that's probably because the stream did go down. People just thought, well, that's it, fuck off.
Yeah.
People commented since.
Anyway.
And it's probably because we've already said we didn't watch the actual E3 coverage of the Nintendo part because
We
none of us
couldn't.
could be asked.
Couldn't anyway. Couldn't find it anywhere. I tried. That's what happens when Nintendo put it on day one. None of the people that are there for the event that are covering the conferences are going to be showing the Nintendo part because they're on the show floor now. They're not, you know, in front of a computer ready and waiting to snark about it, so to speak. I don't know if he was actually there, but I'm just going with an example. He didn't do it. But yeah, that's E3 in a nutshell. Sony knocking it out the park with a straightforward trailer after trailer after trailer after trailer after trailer after trailer after hit trailer after Hideo Kojima after trailer.
EA pretty much showing the same trailer 3 times in a row throughout the show, and very little on gameplay except for what was an indie title, which was of course not their hard work.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And 10 seconds of Titanfall 2, but no one gives a shit about that.
Shit, I forgot about Titanfall 2. The only thing I like about Titanfall 2 is that it's going to have a single player campaign.
Titanfall 2, where you get to be friends with a Transformer.
Yeah, that's kind of true. So...
And the Xbox One has gone on a diet.
Yeah. Surprised the PS4
Yep,
doesn't have a slim version yet, although that might be what PS Neo is.
It could be.
PS4's already had a redesign. I have the updated version of it, but they haven't changed the form factor. Nothing really wrong with it.
I don't know, it's still a bit big for my liking as far as consoles are concerned. I don't think they should need to be that big. It's why I didn't get the Xbox One in the first place, was giant big ass power brick that was the size of a console.
My reason was because I'd spent all my money on my computer, so...
You
Oh,
at
yeah.
least have a decent reason.
Yeah, that was my option when I got this new computer, was do I get an Xbox One now while I've got the chance, or do I get a computer that the only thing I need to do is update the graphics card to make it VR compatible?
I think mine's already VR compatible with the card it's got.
You have a 970?
Yeah, NVIDIA GTX
NVIDIA
970
GeForce
or above.
970 GTX Superclock.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, yours
the
is
970.
yours is VR ready.
Mhm.
Mine isn't, because I'm on a 770.
I'll
But
be
it
honest,
can
I
play
got
all
this
the games
card
I want.
because I got a free game with it. The game of which is one that has been notorious for being shit.
Arkham Knight.
Nope. One of the Assassin's Creeds.
Brotherhood.
Nope.
The one that
Unity.
was 3 times.
Yes.
Unity.
Oh,
Came free with the graphics card.
Oh God. Well, chat's stagnated. Is there anything we want to do?
What's the number at?
It's us only.
It's 4. They've pretty much gone.
I just think we still have one, because I'm not on there.
let's see. Channel chat.
I'm pretty sure it's the bots.
Lexi, Nightbot, me, and T.
Yeah, it's just us.
quick, Azure, show them your boobs.
Don't! We're still live. Still not allowed to go topless.
I'd have done it sooner, but I thought he would actually lose his channel. Are we done here?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're done as far as the podcast is concerned.
Anyone up for Cards Against Humanity or something?
Oh, God. Not really.
Why?
Not cards anyway.
Well, you all know that I'm shit at Rocket League.
And yet I'm still willing to be on your team.
Speedrunners?
Have I played Rocket League on this machine yet?
I don't. Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
I believe you did a stream test for it at 1080 and you were like, it works!
Yeah.
And then remembered that I didn't
Got a ton of
actually
views.
say anything, so...
Yeah, it got quite a lot of views.
Yeah, I didn't say anything, so I ended up putting music on it instead. Which is probably why he's got the views.
Well, let's see. Total Biscuit has released a supercut of the Ubisoft Snarkathon.
Meh.
No, it's still got like 3 days yet.
You know what I don't like about Total Biscuit? And it's something that occurred to me the other day. When I went back to his channel to watch one of the shows after he'd gone offline, you have to pay to watch the VODs.
That's how things work.
You also have to pay to watch, to comment in the chat.
Yeah.
So if you will, so you're free to shit post just as long as you're paying money to do it.
Yeah, people do it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Is that I don't mind that he wants people to subscribe, because let's face it,
That's what we all want.
that's what we all want. But when you make your video on demand section paid only, I'm sorry, but no. Just
He puts them on YouTube anyway. It just means that people who don't subscribe get them a few days later.
no, it's not that. You actually, even if you're subscribed to his Twitch channel, you still have to pay for the VODs if you want to watch them on Twitch.
I thought that was included.
Well, it might be, but I'm not subscribed to him, am I? But it's like, in my opinion, the fact is the VODs are only going to be there for 30 days anyway. You should not have to pay for them.
Like I said, it's how he lets them see it first.
He's already let them see it first. He streamed it.
Yeah,
If
but
they didn't go to the stream while it was still up, it's his own bloody fault. Start a Game Wisp account and put them up as exclusive content like I do. If you want to be paid for
click
them.
here to subscribe. Click here to get chat and VOD access. Including 2-day early views of the podcast.
Yeah, well, I don't agree with that philosophy on making money off your subscribers that way. Like forcing people to subscribe just so that they can watch your content is wrong, in my opinion. It's like I don't delete my VODs even though I put them onto Game Wisp, because why would I?
Any
So-
ideas what I should do is play as my next series?
I don't know, but I'm gonna end
I'm not playing
my...
Neptunia.
I'm gonna end my broadcast right here, so that's the end of episode 7 for the Total Confusion Gaming Podcast. Email address for Total Confusion is totalconfusionyt@gmail.com for any questions. Not that we're actually ever going to get any, I doubt it very highly this early into whatever the hell we actually do. And YouTube channels are found on our respective channels. AzureZero is AzureZero Art. LexiChew is something.
Awesome.
It's not worth looking at my stuff anyway. As I say in pretty much every one of these, I have nothing worth watching.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Well,
Yes, it is.
Tea Drinking Turret is Tea Drinking Turret, and I am Omega Dragon LP. Bye.